J.R. Smith saying after the fact that he knew the score makes it worse. It's a lie. It's not true. He obviously didn't know the score. Read his lips. He didn't know the score. He didn't know what was happening. And what is inexcusable as a professional is not knowing time and score. How much time you got left? What's the score of the game? As a professional, you must know that. But I really do want to focus on LeBron James because that's who your heart breaks for in that situation. J.R. Smith, timeout. Like, we'll get to George Hill and everything and free throws and all that stuff later. There are many reasons they lost the game, but only one reason they may have won it. LeBron James has taken a team in these finals, first of all, to the finals, that only have one other bona fide starter on the roster, and that's Kevin Love. No one else is a starter. You could say J.R. Smith or Rodney Hood or someone might start on some championship team if he's playing with 4 other All-Stars. But otherwise, these are rotation pieces. You'd be 7th or 8th guy on the bench. A lot of these dudes could. But no other starters. Not a single damn one of them is a bona fide starter in the NBA on a championship squad. LeBron took them not only through 3 rounds of the playoffs against superior teams, but in Game 1 on the road at Golden State, which has been a juggernaut, has the team in a position where they should have won that game, and J.R. Smith doesn't know time or score? You are trying, you're hoping against hope to somehow steal a win on the road. You're one of the biggest underdogs in the history of the finals. You have no margin for error. This man, LeBron James, who, by the way, I'm going to say, you know, this is, sometimes we do some hot takes on this show, right? I'm going to say this right now. And I'm not wishing this, and I hate to even speak it. I don't want to speak it into existence. Knock wood. LeBron James is older than anyone's ever been and has played more minutes than anyone's ever played, who's still been by far the best player in the game. He's also playing 48 minutes a night right now after playing 82 games in the regular season. Do you understand that this man, who could have years of top-notch basketball ahead of him and countless millions of dollars on the court, is literally risking a career-altering, catastrophic injury every time he has performances like this one? And he doesn't care. He's not thinking about that. He's just trying to get them to the promised land. And after all of that, J.R. Smith thinks he's going to dribble out the ball? And now you got to try and beat Golden State again on the road? My heart breaks for LeBron. I know, don't feel sorry for him. He's a billionaire and this and that. My heart breaks for this guy. 51 points and bringing this motley crew to the precipice only to have his teammate. One thing for a teammate is to be no good, but you got to have your head in the game.
Let's just say MVP, no MVP. You're looking for a replica of that performance. The point is that to everybody else's eyes, because you got the championship and you got the finals MVP, you essentially have the glove. So to turn around in the very ensuing NBA Finals and in Game 1, while this dude that you came for because you wanted to stake your claim that a new era had arrived, it's my time now. I'm going to join forces with a super team and become a champion and a Finals MVP, and I'm going to do all of this stuff. In the very first game you went against this man in the ensuing NBA Finals, he said, hold up, bro. I haven't gone anywhere. And here's my 51 for you. Here's me taking it to the hole. Here's me posting. Here's me pulling up for threes. Here's me driving to the basket. And your response was free throws. And 4 of 11 shooting in each half. It's just one game. All I'm saying is, last night, Game 1, I'm going to repeat myself, regurgitate it till the cows come home. Kevin Durant looked like he wanted no parts of LeBron James. And that, to me, was shocking and relatively disappointing.
What has changed between this year and last year? The Warriors, that's a separate conversation. This, to me, very similar roster, almost the same roster.
Before you get into that, because last year we were having the conversation that KD was maybe passing LeBron. So that
I never subscribed to that.
We debated that.
Close.
We debated that with Will Kane. We were here, and I just want to point out that that's done.
I never thought it was close. LeBron James is lapping KD, and KD is a great player. It's not a knock against KD. LeBron's on another level. Before Meek Mill, another pop culture reference, was known for what he became known for, right? Like Free Meek Mill. What was he best known for? There are levels to this, right? There are levels to this. And what KD, I think, has seen in these playoffs, throughout these playoffs is, look, when he was when that team was rolling, KD had the the ability to do what he needed to do, and he beat LeBron. LeBron has taken it to yet another level in these playoffs. I think KD saw that and realized I'm not there
but
yet.
Here's my problem with your argument. You're not asking KD to be Durant. You're not asking KD to match tit for tat for him.
With LeBron, you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
What you're asking for of KD is to be the model of consistency you have always been. If you are a career 24-point-per-game scorer, if losing to Miami when you were in OKC, you averaged 33 on better than 50% shooting, and then you go up against LeBron James in these NBA Finals Game 1, I don't expect to see you deferring to
think LeBron's in his head?
Steph Curry. I think that a legitimate question can be asked in that regard after Game 1. As just one game. Listen,
that's what I'm talking about.
When I do highlighting and analyzing the finals, I go game by game by game. It's not about overseeing. Nah, that's the prediction before the series. Once the series begins, I'm going a game at a time, and I'm watching it just stir, and I'm watching it develop before my very eyes.
So in game
I saw
one,
it last night.
So in game one, was LeBron in KD's head, yes or no? Game 1.
I think LeBron was in his head. I think that
too.
KD. Listen, call it whatever you want.
Why? How did he get
I'm
there?
going to say to you, he wanted no parts of LeBron last night.
So how did LeBron get into KD's head?
I'm telling you, because he was busting their butt.
It is LeBron's performance throughout these playoffs that has KD saying out loud to the press, that man is on a different level. I hope to get to that level one day, but that is something different.
As you shake your head, you're shaking your head about what, man? There's a long list of things it could be. You're shaking your head about what specifically?
I know that George Hill should have made that free throw to give them the lead. I get that, but missed free throws do happen. I'm shaking my head at two things, Scott. Number one, the call with 36 seconds left that was overturned, where LeBron James ultimately got called for the offensive foul. I think that's inexcusable. If you call it in the moment, that's one thing. But it's too close to call for the referees to insert themselves into that equation by going to the videotapes and reviewing it and overturning a call that clearly is not that decisive. I think when you're the greatest player in the world, when you're having a spectacular night in the NBA Finals like this, with a call that is that close, that can influence the balance in this series, it's simply a call you don't overturn. So that's number one. But number two, I don't really know what words I can describe that are fit for FCC airwaves to explain the tragic decisions by J.R. Smith. You talk about asleep at the wheel. I got to tell you something right now. That is as inexcusable of a mistake as you can possibly make. It's not like it was in the throes of action. You're George Hill, you're at the free throw line. You have an opportunity to take a deep breath, pause, collect your thoughts and what have you. And still standing at the free throw line where he was inexplicably not boxed out, he grabs an offensive rebound and runs out as if they're trying to run the clock out because he thinks they have the lead and ultimately blows it and sends the game into overtime. LeBron James is looking at him like he has to be the most idiotic individual on the planet Earth. He looks at LeBron James and said, I didn't know, I thought we were up. And there you have it. You saw what happened in overtime. I think about Chris Webber calling a timeout when there were no timeouts for a national championship on the line. I think about the great Isaiah Thomas, a two-time champion, one of the greatest guards we've ever seen in NBA history, throwing the ball in bounds under Boston's basket or near under Boston's basket. I consider those two flaws, those two faux pas to be epic. But I just don't know what to say about this. Look, man, I just don't know what to say. Scott?
Yep.
It is rare that I am relatively speechless. That moment has officially arrived. I don't know what to say. It is one of the most brain-dead, idiotic things that I've ever witnessed in covering basketball live. I didn't cover C. Webb in the Final Four. And that's an honest mistake because you're in the throes of action timeout. I didn't cover Isaiah Thomas going up against the great Bird and McHale teams in Boston. That kind of stuff happened. You're trying to throw a quick inbounds pass, but it still wasn't the smartest decision in the world. And we know how brilliant and cerebral Isaiah Thomas is. In the case of J.R. Smith, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, Scott.
Somehow
I just don't.
Well, somehow you keep finding words, which is the gift that you possess, Stephen A. Even in spite of being speechless, you're not. And I would ask you to find the words to describe the performance of LeBron James. And sadly, from the Cleveland perspective, as epic as it was, it's ultimately wasted. As Tim Legler said, and I completely agree, if you're Cleveland, this is a game you must get, and they did not. I wonder how they rebound from that, Stephen A.
I don't know if they can rebound. I think that JR's mistake was a series-altering mistake, and I think it's cost them. I think this series ends in 5. I don't think that would have happened had they won tonight's game. I can't say enough about what we saw from LeBron James. LeBron James was absolutely sensational. All of these comparisons, all the things that people throw up, whether you buy into it or not, he just validates those kind of things with nights like tonight. Game 1 of an NBA Finals, he absolutely destroyed the Golden State Warriors. He dictated pace. He controlled tempo. He took advantage of matchups when they were, when the Golden State Warriors put somebody on him that he couldn't handle, when they doubled up on him or what have you, he found the open man, fed the right guys. He made a lot of right decisions. I would not have given the ball up to George Hill near the end. That much is true. But outside of that, he played close to a flawless game. And believe it or not, J.R. Smith not only ruined LeBron James' evening, he saved Kevin Durant's evening, because the way Kevin Durant had basically relatively disappeared in the second half from the field, considering the way that LeBron James was performing, I would have been talking about Kevin Durant a little bit tomorrow. Hell, I still might. But nobody, and even LeBron James, is not going to eclipse J.R. Smith being the storyline, because, my Lord, I cannot believe the mistake he made.
You got about 9 hours, 45 minutes to find the words. First take tomorrow morning. Stephen A. Smith, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.